cutting, scratching, mixing, and daunting.
Hey guys, DJ Ravine here, and I'm here with Ben, aka Mr. Bristow. Hello. And we're here to do a video today as a continuation of the last one, top 5 non-DJ mistakes.
You mean DJ tips?
Yeah. Anyways, we're here in Studio 4 again.
Yeah, we're in our DJ studio here at Point Blank, Osman Road. This is where we teach all our DJ courses, so we're surrounded by lots of cool kit, and it's a very good place to learn DJ skills.
Absolutely. Anyways, let's get started.
So the first thing we wanted to talk about was effects. So this setup here, we've got two CDJ 2000 Nexus 2s and a 900 Nexus 2 mixer, all connected via LAN cables to a LAN hub. So that means we can have quantized effects. It's pretty easy with a setup like this because the mixer kind of detects the tempo straight away and you can set the speed.
Absolutely, but sometimes you're playing with a DJ that doesn't record box their stuff. They literally just drag it all into a folder on USB, and then this is when you need to know this.
Basically, the old school way of getting the tempo of a track into the mixer was really either let the mixer try and detect it with the auto feature, and you could be stood there for quite a while letting it try to work out the tempo. Whereas the quicker way of doing it would be to actually tap the tempo in yourself because you didn't want to wait for that to work it out.
But not everyone's really accurate at tapping it, and a lot of the times you get it like 1 BPM out.
Yeah.
And then the way to actually do it manually, and a lot of people don't know this, is you just hold a tap button and then just turn the time knob, and then you can actually accurately go and change the BPM. So,
and also, if you want to be even more precise, what you could do is hold the tap button and the auto tap button, and then it lets you dial in the decimal point. Then what you've got to make sure of is if you're using an effect that relates to timing like echo or delay or anything that repeats the sound or loops the sound, that you've actually set the timing of the effect to work with that BPM that you've given to the mixer. So if I've set it to half a beat echo, select channel 3, you can hear the echo is working at half beat intervals. And if I turn it to a 1 beat echo, then it's gonna echo on the beat. Whereas what some people get wrong is not bothering to change the beat value, activating an echo or a delay where the numbers are flashing or the beat values are flashing, and then when the effect's on it can sound very messy and cluttered because you're getting an echo that's not actually the tempo or related to the tempo of your track.
okay, so next up we've got another little trick for you guys, and that has to do with the roll effect. And everybody knows what the roll effect is, well at least I hope you guys do, and I'll show you guys now. What it does is basically repeats or it loops that part of the song depending on what beat interval you've got it set at without the song actually looping physically. So that means the song keeps playing as you're creating a loop.
Yeah, so it's recording audio into the mixer effectively. So instead of a loop on your CDJ where it's repeatedly playing the same bit of the audio file, you're actually recording audio into the mixer's engine itself, and it can store that audio independently of your CDJ. So one of the really cool things you can do with it is actually use it a bit like a spare deck, because you can record up to 8 seconds of audio into the mixer, which means in some cases you can record a 2-bar loop. So I've had this happen to me, a deck has gone a bit wrong, some sort of crash has happened on my hard drive, and I can't actually move or select any new tracks anymore, and I know that I need to restart the deck, but the audio is still going. So obviously if I restart the deck, it's going to cut the audio out. So this technique you can use to record what's coming out of the deck into the mixer, allowing you to then reset the deck, hopefully get your hard drive or USB key working again. You can kind of mix out of the roll that you've recorded into the mixer.
So when you have that kind of crash or a malfunction on your deck, the roll feature will help you out with that, because what you can do with the effect selector for the channel, you can actually transfer the roll from one channel to another.
Yeah, so once you've got the recording in the mixer, the channel selector will determine which channel that recording will play on. So if you recorded it from channel 3, once you've got a recording in there, moving this will move it to any of the other channels. In fact, you can even put it on the master so it's independent of your 4 channels.
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it means you could effectively do a whole set off one deck.
And of course you can actually just use this for sampling purposes as well. You can record in like an acapella or something like that,
Yep.
roll that, chuck it onto another deck. It's really good, especially if you're not playing with 4 decks.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just give you an example of how to do this. So I've got my track playing, and I would make sure that I've selected the right channel. So channel 3, select the roll effect. Now I want to select the longest beat value, because in this case the beat value means how many beats is it going to record.
I mean, of course you can have that shorter, but in this case we're going to make it long.
Yeah, just you've got to be careful. If it's a really short loop, people might start noticing, whereas
Yeah.
a 2-bar loop, it might sound a bit more fluid. So I'm going to select 8 beats. In this case, because it's quite a fast track, it's going to let me record 8 beats, because 8 beats of this track is less than 8 seconds, because it's quite a fast tune. So it's selected on 8. Now I'll play the track. Going to press record at the start of a bar. 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you can hear it's a loop. So if I press stop, or Stanley does, now we're listening to the recording, not the CDJ anymore. So there's no music coming from either of our CDJs.
And you can turn that off by just bringing the channel fader down.
Yeah.
And that channel obviously was recorded on channel 3 because that's where the deck is.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to move that recording, because currently it's on channel 3 because that's where we recorded it from. If I move the channel select dial, it's now on channel 2. Or I can put it on channel 1.
And now we're on the master.
Yeah. So now all your channels are off. Then it would mean you could restart your decks, or like one deck, and then, you know, hopefully get your key working again, and then you can mix a new tune into that recording.
And you can also use this as like a channel fader level.
Yeah. Yeah, if you leave it up and you put it on channel 2, for example, you can even use the filters with it. So
That's cool.
So the insert effects work with the recorded roll as well. Yeah.
So Ben just showed me a really cool thing. I totally didn't know about this the other day, but you can actually save your tag lists as a completely new playlist on the deck. And I used to do this in record boxes. You know, you go to record box, you see histories and all that kind of stuff, and you can save those histories in your playlist.
Yep.
But apparently you can do that on the fly.
Yeah, I mean, so tag list, I mean, I use that all the time, that feature, because it allows me to compile a little playlist while I'm playing live. Even if I haven't prepared it earlier, I can quickly get a selection of tracks together on the fly. So just to reiterate how to do that, I'd be looking through a playlist or several playlists and using the tag button. Every time I press the tag button, it adds a little tick next to the track. So if I tag a few tracks, maybe come out of this playlist into a different one, tag, tag, tag. Kind of like when you used to play on vinyl, or when I used to play on vinyl, pulling records out of my record bag so that I knew I was going to play a few tracks, you know, in a row. And now when I go to tag list, all of the tracks I just tagged appear under that one list. So it means you can quickly have a playlist that you've just created on the deck itself. And as Stanley said, now if I wanted to actually save that permanently, because I might want to use that again because I've compiled quite a good playlist, once you're in the tag list, if you press menu, you've got tag list menu. So if you then go to tag list menu, you've got an option, create playlist. So if I click on create playlist, okay, now it's actually created a playlist in my playlist area with the tag list. So tag list 010.
So another cool thing is instant doubles. Now this was pretty much one of the coolest things about having Serato or Tractor back in the day, but now you can do it on a CDJ.
Yeah, amazingly. So if you've got linked CDJs, instant doubles is a feature where you can change the track's location effectively. So if you've got a tune playing on the right deck, but you actually want it over on this left side, you can get it to load to exactly the same place and be playing alongside the other one. Then you can just switch the crossfader over, no one notices, and now you've got the track playing on a different channel.
And this is very, very handy if you're, say, a right-hander scratcher like me. You've got the track playing here, and you're like, oh, I want to scratch on the breakdown of this track.
Yeah.
So you can chuck instant doubles, bring that track here, load your scratch samples on the right, and then scratch, and no one will ever know the difference.
Yeah, and it's also useful for tricks like delaying, where you might want to get the same track on both decks and do little double ups of certain beats. It's a very quick way of getting the same track loaded, and then all you have to do is kind of nudge it out of sync. So for example, if we've got this beat playing here and I'm scratching this side, then we want to swap over. This is a classic sort of example of why you might do this in a set if there's two of you and you both want to have your preferred side. So the beat's playing here, I might be cutting. And then Stanley goes, get out of my way, I want to have a go, you're hogging the limelight kind of thing, so I want that track over this side. So if I basically on this setup press and hold sync, it will load that same instrumental over to this side and playing from exactly the same place. So now if we swap the crossfader over, And no audience member would know the difference really, because it's the same consistent beat. So it's a very useful tip, that.
Sneaky.
Yes. So another tip we wanted to give you was about the different modes that you can get on a CDJ. Not vinyl mode or CDJ mode, but there's single or continuous mode. Quite often I like to manually rock the beat of a new tune, even over the top of the one playing.
Like old school vinyl.
Yeah,
You know?
so give it a little bit of an intro and then, drop mix or beat match it, but the audience can hear me scratching it in. If you've got the deck set to single mode, what that means is I can't actually get back into the previous track, and if my beat is right at the start of the file, when I'm moving my hand and the platter moves back, the playhead doesn't actually move. So you can end up with your hand completely around the wrong side.
You basically reached the end of the track.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's no track for it to go back on.
Yeah, so it's like your hand movements don't always make the jog wheel or the playhead move. So it can feel like it's kind of like slipping away from you almost. So that's because at the moment we're in single mode. What I want it to be able to do is go into the end of the previous track so that when I move my hand, the playhead actually moves in conjunction with that. So under menu, if I press and hold menu, you can see at the top here, the play mode is currently set to single. So if I go to continue mode, now it's letting me go in and out of the two different tracks. So I can, every time I move my hand back, the sound effectively moves back. So everything I'm doing actually affects the sound.
And how it does that is that it goes back into the previous track.
Yeah. It can be a little bit confusing because the playhead suddenly flicks sometimes, because it's obviously where the end of one track is not the same as the start of the next one, but at least it feels and sounds right, and it's not blocking you from moving it earlier than where you are.
Now there is a downside to that though.
Yep.
I DJ in auto cue mode.
Yep.
And if you're in auto cue mode, when you pull back, it's not gonna continue playing.
Yeah. So if I've gone to the start of a track, if I press play, it's in play mode. But if I am scratching with it and I pull back into the end of the previous track, when I let go, auto cue kicks in. It stops the track from playing, even though I've just told it I want it to play. If I press and hold that button, time mode or auto cue button, auto cue is now off. That means I'm now in continue mode and auto cue's deactivated, so I can go in and out of two different tracks, and when I release the track, it actually plays. So
Cutting, scratching, mixing, and stunting.
I actually learned a lot of stuff there. And where can they learn about this stuff if they're interested?
well, of course, we run various different DJ modules here. So the complete DJ course, we run the essential DJ skills module, creative DJ skills, and also advanced DJ skills, and Tractor Weekend courses. Check out the Point Blank website for details.
pointblankmusicschool.com. And yeah, that's it from us. We'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We know you guys enjoyed that last one. And yeah, leave your comments down below on what you're interested to see us do next time. And yeah, that's DJ Ravine and Mr. Bristow out.